Hi there, this is Khaleel here again from the Finance Lounge. A quick video just to say where we're at the moment regards to our process in relation to explaining what we do in an application for finance. Now, I had an email from Margaret from Edinburgh. I was about to say her full name there, but I won't. I had an email from Margaret in Edinburgh, and she said to us, can you explain the difference between what we do and what other brokers do in the business? Because there's loads of guys out there do the same job. So I said, yes, okay, we can explain it. Do you mind if I put it in a video form? I've already explained it to her, but can I put it in a video form? So this is what this video is about. So initially I said we broke it into what you would traditionally call a fact find. Now, a fact find is basically gathering all the information that we require in order to make an application for finance for your deal. It could be a property deal. The same application could be related to getting financing for an example for business funding or invoice financing or whatever the main cash flow or whatever the case may be, even doing an overdraft. Now, what I've done in our business is change that process into three parts. Now, the reason we did that is to not only make it easier for us, right? That was one of the reasons. Trust me, I don't like doing paperwork. So anything to make our process a wee bit easier for ourselves, we will do. The other reason for doing that is to make the process easier for the client. Now, sometimes when we did fact finds in the past, we had booklets and we used to produce booklet. I'll give you an example. This is not the booklet, but this is an example. We had a full page booklet like this would explain all the information that we require, and the client would fill it out, and it would take you it would go through chapter and verse how to information we were requiring. And that was fine and give us all the information that we needed, but the client sometimes felt that why are they giving all this at this stage, because it's not necessary. They just want to know, can you do the deal? Secondly, what they know, how much it's going to cost, and thirdly, how long it's going to take. And apart from that three things, it's very little to go either way. So what's the process, how much is it going to cost, and how long it's going to take? So on that basis, I did what our business is, try and streamline that, and we put in place a three-part process, which I've explained already, but I'll say it again. Is that we have an initial inquiry form, which is this, and from that we can gauge whether or not your deal is going to go forward, or at least it's got any potential to go forward. And once we establish that, then we go into the nitty-gritty, the getting all the advanced information that we require in order to process your application. And even then, that process, what we've done is split that into two parts. Now, part one, which is this, our financial application, and we go through all this, or the client goes through this information, gives it to us, and once we get this, we're in a position whereby we can actually forward your details, not your personal details, but the details about the deal to a potential lender and see whether or not the funding is available. And from there, we can actually establish a quotation and also terms, conditions, etc. in order to move that deal forward. The reason we did that is because sometimes if we ask for everything up front, it's not only more very onerous and comprehensive for the client, it's sometimes not necessary, because we can gauge from the first part whether or not we've got enough to go forward with the process. And the other thing is that if we ask for all the information up front, it can sometimes sound a bit like how can I put it, like a financial interrogation, right? We're interrogating you for the information. Now, we do need the information, but we don't need, we can make the process a wee bit nicer, a little bit more light-hearted, in order to get to the end result. Once we get the initial information back from the first part, we have a quotation, we can go through terms and conditions with our client, and then from there we would ask for the client to fill in part two, natural progression. We go into part two, and then from part two we ask for things like details about your solicitor, your accountant. We might ask then for information from your bank, pay slips, bank statements, accountancy, SA382s, whatever the case may be. We'll ask for that stage. Ask for the money laundering requirements. Might be proof of ID, proof of residency, all that kind of information we would get in that stage. So hopefully that answers your question, Margaret, best I can. If I haven't, then let me know and I'll do it again, or I'll come back to you on the personal side and we can discuss it. So hopefully that's the difference of what we do, is break it up for the client, makes it easier. It's like everything else, you take it in bite sizes, it's easier. You take one chunk at something, it's sometimes very difficult and you're reluctant to do it all. It sounds like too much work. I'm going to have to get all that information, I'm going to have to contact my accountant, I'm going to have to do this. Yes, we're going to have to do it eventually, but we can do it in stages, step by step, small steps. And then once we get it all together, we package it up, make it look nice and pretty. It's like getting a Christmas tree and decorating putting the tinsel and the baubles and the lights and etc. What we ask you to do as a client is give us the bare Christmas tree, and then slowly we will, working with the client, we will get the tinsel on it, we'll get the baubles on it, we'll get the lights on it, and then package it all nice, and all of a sudden you've got this big glaring Christmas tree in front of you, and wow, we've got an application. And next thing is, we get presents under it, and the presents under it is going to be, the deal goes through. We get an offer, we get a mortgage offer, and we've got the basis of a property deal. And not only then, we've got the blueprint. We've established a blueprint on how to take your application, your business forward to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And that's how we do it. Sounds simple, we try, but the difference is, it's not simple, but we make it simple for you. That's part of our job, is to make the process as straightforward, as simple, as transparent as we can, in order to get you your property deal, or to get your business moving in the right direction. Hope that answers your question, especially to Margaret, but in general, that answers the question for our clients or potential clients in the future. See you soon.